be fucking fearless. Be fucking fearless, or as close to it as possible. Is that achievable? Maybe, maybe not. But like, be fearless. Because the reality is, a lot of people are going to try and spread their fear onto you.
Be completely fearless, certain by feeling the fear and moving anyway. Because the fearless aren't born that way. They're built by choosing pressure, by risking failure repeatedly. Be fearless, not because you don't feel fear, but because you never let it decide.
Training is a war. It's a fight against the forces of nature. A fight against the competition. A fight against the limits you once accepted. It's a battle you must win daily. A relentless fight against your inner self. You can't beat the competition if you cannot conquer yourself. The battle against others is won or lost inside your own head. It's not about how great the competition is. It's about discipline and the willingness to sacrifice every single bit of comfort you have. It's a fight that never stops. Every single day, every single hour, every single second of your life matters. It's a relentless battle. Only the obsessed are able to win. So the question is, are you ready to chase your full potential?
If you want to be great, if you want to create big things, if you want to build awesome things, if you want to impact the world and you want to make money and you want to do everything that great people do, you have to understand that living to the standards of the expectations of other people will never get it done. You have to exceed those, and you can't just exceed them by a little bit. You have to exceed them by a gazillion miles, and you have to do that every motherfucking day. It has to be your identity. You can't just fake it.
The reality is, the clock is ticking. From the moment you are born to the moment that we die, that clock starts and it ends. And in order to do all of those things, I can't afford to make excuses. And we have limited time on earth to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish, experience the things that we want to experience, achieve, accomplish, create, and build legacy. And in order to do those things and experience life, we cannot afford to make excuses.
There comes a point in your life when you've got to make a choice. A decision that will define not just where you're going, but who you'll become. And that choice is this: to ghost everyone in silence and focus on you. Now, this isn't about running away. It's about walking away from distractions. Walking away from people who don't align with your purpose. Walking away from the noise, the chaos, and even the expectations that others place on you. This is about walking towards something far greater, yourself. Because deep down, you know there's a version of you that hasn't been unleashed yet. The version that's waiting to rise, to take over, to dominate. But let me tell you something. No one's going to hand it to you. And that's where most people fall. They think greatness comes from applause, recognition, or validation from others. They think their friends, their social circle, their followers will somehow push them to the top. Let me break that illusion for you. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your dreams the way you do. Nobody cares if you're struggling in the dark. They're too busy chasing their own. Silence the world around you, because distractions are killers. They kill dreams. They kill ambition.
4 words that'll change your life. I do it anyways. Tired? I do it anyways. No support? I do it anyways. Scared shitless? I do it anyways. Afraid of failure? I do it anyways. Fear of rejection? I do it anyways. You don't build an amazing life or business or relationship by waiting for the perfect moment. You do it by showing up every day, regardless of how you feel. You do it anyways. That's how you win the game of life, with the mentality of I do it anyways.
There's a choice that we have to make as people, as individuals. If you want to be great at something, it's a choice that you have to make. We all can be masters at our craft, but you have to make a choice. What I mean by that is there are inherent sacrifices that come along with that. Family time, hanging out with your friends, being a great friend, right? Being a great son, nephew, whatever the case may be. There's sacrifices that come along with making that decision.
Your worst chapter is not your last chapter. What if what I've gone through is exactly what somebody else is going through? And if I can help somebody else build a bridge, then why not give it a shot? And I think for me, someone once said to me, to my face, the moment you can take the hardest thing in your life and take more from it than it took from you, your life will change forever.
And you know what the definition of crazy is? The definition of crazy is being able to see and do things that nobody else can see. That's all crazy is. If you haven't been called crazy, you've done nothing in your life. If you haven't been called off, if you haven't been called insane, people always ask, man, people go, man, what's wrong with Grover? You know what my answer is? Everything. I'm not afraid to be off. I'm not afraid to speak my mind.
Just take action, keep doing it, keep doing what you're doing, keep moving forward. And actually pushing the edges showed me that coming back to the center is a blessing.
Appreciating the mundanity, the small moments.
I'm at the point in my life right now where I'm just locking in. I can't keep worrying about distractions and things that ain't serving my purpose, because everything I do now depends on how my future looks. So I'm locked in and I'm focused.
The biggest business you won't have to manage is your life. You know what I'm saying? Outside of all your other businesses, the business of your life has to be managed first. You know what I'm saying?
The tragedy of life doesn't lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy of life lies in having no goal to reach. It isn't a calamity to die with dreams unfulfilled, but it is a calamity not to dream. It is not a disgrace not to reach the stars, but it is a disgrace to have no stars to reach for.
There's fucking excuses here. And every fucking excuse that you tell yourself, every lie that you tell yourself, every fucking little story you tell yourself about not being able to do what it is you want to do because of whatever it is, that's just you telling yourself another thing that will keep you where you are for a longer period of time. And where you are is somewhere that we don't want to be.
Fear of failure. Fear of failure can keep you from taking risk. It can leave you sitting there paralyzed into not taking action. But I don't want you to overcome fear of failure. I want you to be afraid of failure. Fear of failure is good. Fear of failure will keep you up at night planning, rehearsing.
But in order to become that somebody, you've got to discover, what is it that my body loves doing? What is it that my mind can't keep off of it? What is it that keeps me up at night? What is it that stirs me up when I see it? What gets me emotionally involved, engaged, and connected?
Fear of failure will keep you training hard. Fear of failure will stop you from cutting corners. Fear of failure will keep you working, thinking, striving, and relentlessly trying to be more prepared for battle. So I want you to be afraid of failing.
because you found your calling. And calling is the exact word you want to use because your passion and your purpose have been calling you before you were born.
If you wake up in the morning and you start having negative thoughts, man, this ain't my day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I just don't feel myself. In the middle of the day, if you feel yourself doing that, just stop for a second and start going over in your mind everything you have to be grateful for. Everything you already have. Because what you have is substantial. You just haven't gone over the list and taken inventory in a long time.
There is no secret. There is no quick fix. There is no hack. There is no path of least resistance. The quickest way for you to go from where the you are to where you want to be is that you're trying to avoid doing.
But I'll tell you right now, you might not be in control of what the world gives you, but you're always in control of what you accept. This life is not an external battle, my people. This life is an internal war. Your greatest battle is here. So my question I want to ask you right now is, what are the things that are in your control that you can change right now? You can control and change the internal dialogue that you're having within yourself.
I want you to be horrified, terrified of sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing. That is what I want you to be afraid of. Waking up in 6 days or 6 weeks or 6 years or 60 years and being no closer to your goal. You've made no progress. That is the horror. That is the nightmare. That is what you really need to be afraid of, being stagnant. So, get up and go. Take the risk, take the gamble, take the first step, take action. And don't let another day slip by.
The very thing you're pursuing in your life is very simple. It is fulfillment. That's it. Now, I sum up fulfillment very simply. How do you feel about yourself when you're by yourself? Do you feel good? Do you feel like you're making the most of your life? Are you tapping into what the Greeks called technique? So you really have to work hard